Last week you introduced us to some remarkable research from Carnegie Mellon University. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jason. How are you today?
I'm doing great. This is an exciting and new looking location you're in.
Indeed. Thanks to the support of our supporters on Patreon and Subscribestar, I was able to move into more of a permanent studio,
Nice. That's
and
great.
I'm excited. Yeah, yeah, I'm excited about it. It allows me to really focus on the work for long chunks of time,
Great.
and so this isn't just for broadcasting; it's also for watching footage and creating
Nice.
the videos. I do all of it here. Yeah.
So it's a new, kind of a new John E. Hoover headquarters over there. And that is great to know that the sponsorship from patreon.com/I am John Cullen and subscribestar.com/I am John Cullen is paying off. We're going to have our weekly show starting in just about 30 minutes on patreon.com. It'll be simulcast, of course, on your channels and on patreon.com/crowdsource the truth, as well as the Crowdsource the Truth Subscribestar channel. It's a great way for you and I to build this network. And you know, John, the new draconian user terms on YouTube have been implemented, and just this morning, Crowdsource the Truth's main YouTube channel was the victim of a malicious strike from the same persistent social engineers who can't seem to come up with anything new. They've been publishing the same lies about me. They've been pushing these same fake lawsuits, striking videos, not to actually remedy or cure an actual injury, but to try to take down Crowdsource the Truth, to try to stop me from bringing people excellent guests like John Cullen. They want to stop me from telling people that they should go and visit the John E. Hoover YouTube channel, and they should get themselves up to speed on what really went on in Las Vegas. You've been the subject of many social engineering attacks, so obviously, John, as you and I work together, they're concentrating their efforts.
No doubt, no doubt. And now we have Tulsi Gabbard asking questions about the Saudis and families getting retribution or justice or some sort of monetary recompensance from the Saudis. So Tulsi Gabbard's been talking about that. Greg Gutfield was talking about it this week on The Five. Yeah, so there you go.
That's
so
really good.
she's putting some tough rhetoric out there.
I like Tulsi Gabbard. You know, whenever we say that, people say that she was raised in a cult or something. That's definitely cause for concern. But she seems to be on the right side of so many issues. Now, this is from June, so perhaps it's not the right clip that you were talking about. For a long time, she's been saying we need to stop pretending Saudi Arabia is an ally. I totally agree with that. And this incident in Pensacola only drives it home further. You've been looking into that. What do we know now that we didn't know last week?
Well, as I was digging into the whole Pensacola shooting, there's a number of things that jumped out. One of which is that there were 6 other Saudis that the FBI wanted to speak with that they were looking for. Well, now it's a week later, and I haven't heard anything about if the FBI's tracked these guys down. Have they found them or not?
Right.
And so I'm working on a video right now. So I spent most of the last week rebuilding my hard drives because of the key logging thing, which also that has an interesting ending, by the way. I posted something on the key logging thing. We'll talk about that later, but let's talk about Pensacola. So one of the things about Pensacola that is similar to what we've seen in the past is a number of years back, there were, I think it was a rape and a murder in Oregon, and a number of Saudis were supposedly guilty of this, and their passports were taken away from them, and yet they never stood trial. They disappeared. And so there's this history of the United States protecting Saudis, or allowing the Saudis to protect Saudis. And so the question then is, why do we keep doing this?
Right.
Why do we keep protecting them? Why do we keep burying the story? And again, I've been a fan of what MBS is doing. The Saudi Aramco IPO was this week. They got their $2 trillion valuation.
Ooh,
So
that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to disagree with the. I'm reserving judgment with regard to Mohammed bin Salman. I know where you're coming from with regard to the allowing women to drive and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what he's up to. This is from the Oregonian Live. Saudi students escape U.S. justice amid political impasse. One sexual assault survivor speaks out. Is this woman sticking out her stomach because she's pregnant from the rape?
I don't know about that part, but this is part of the story of something that happened in 2012, and I think that there were five Saudis, I think, that were named and identified, and their passports were confiscated. And there's a number of articles on this. So this happened a number of years ago. These guys were able to escape or leave the country, and this is the sort of protections that we continue to see. If we go to the 28pages.org and we look at all the redactions in the 28pages.org, the question is, who are we protecting? Why are we protecting these people if they're involved in the planning? Right? So 28 pages.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know the answer.
Well, and then the question is, well, who are the big names? Well, one of the things that I did, found out this week, reading an article, was that one of King Salman's sons, one of Mohammed bin Salman's older brothers, and the one that was the first Arab in space in 1985, was implicated in planning September 11th.
Sultan bin Salman Al Saud?
Correct.
It's not that.
And so he was, so he has been implicated in the planning of September 11th through a whole series of connections. I'm putting a video together on this, but this makes things more complicated.
Why?
Right. So now, well, because King Salman has I think 13 sons, I believe, and some of them might be radical, and some of them might be progressive. Right, so if Mohammed now, and the other thing is Mohammed bin Salman is not the oldest of his sons by any stretch of the imagination. This guy was in space before Mohammed bin Salman was born.
Oh, that's true. Wow.
Okay, right.
So this is his brother, technically, his half brother or something, right?
Yeah, I think half brother with a different mom. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, John. I don't know if you know the answer to this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there is something to the naming convention, like Sultan bin Salman Al Saud. The bin and the al. I previously had thought that, like, bin, like this was like a masculine, feminine thing. What does this mean, bin and al? It's got to do with
this is the hierarchy.
Yeah.
This is the hierarchy. So King Salman is Salman bin Saud, and Sultan is Sultan bin Salman from Saud. So this is the hierarchy, meaning his name is Sultan, his father is Salman, and Salman's father is Saud, the original Ibn Saud.
Got it.
So King Salman right now is the son of the founder of Saudi Arabia, one of the sons, and Sultan bin Salman is his son. Al Saud means he's a Saud, right? Mm-hmm. So he was on the space shuttle in 1985, and that's 35 years ago. That's about the same time that MBS was born. This guy was flying in the space shuttle, and yet MBS is going to be the next king of England. Did you ever see the movie Syriana?
I did.
Talking about brothers who wants to be king.
Yeah.
And is the oldest brother really going to be king or not, and all that kind of thing. So this is kind of, if this brother is in fact somehow connected to the September 11th planning, it makes the conversations between Trump and King Salman all that more complex. Right? Because now, who under your roof can we trust and who can't we trust? Right? Can I trust MBS? I guess I have to. Can I trust KBS? I guess I have to. But as soon as the circle starts getting a whole lot deeper than those three, he's got 13 sons, and this one has a connection to Gawazi. And Gawazi is, and Gawazi has a connection to an aerospace company, and it just gets real complicated. I'm trying to put a video together, but it's a complex story. So this is sort of the fine line that the president is having to walk, right? He knows MBS's brother helped plan this, right?
Plan 9/11.
I will lead is outwardly, vocally against Trump, and yet is the biggest shareholder of Citigroup. May still be, I don't know. Same with Twitter, and one of the largest shareholders in Apple.
Wow.
And 45% owner of Four Seasons. Right?
Good.
Now, he used to be on CNBC. He used to appear with Maria Bartiromo all the time.
Unwilling?
We just haven't seen a whole lot of him. He used to be on TV constantly.
She's on Fox, Bartiromo. She used to be on
Now
CNBC?
she is, yeah. I don't recall.
Right.
Possibly.
Right.
So right now I'm working on a video. I'm looking at my board to see what's in the hopper. We've got the Pensacola connection. We've got the connection with Aaron Ford, who is the Attorney General in Nevada and impeaching Sheriff Joe.
Right. We got to
So
talk about that.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that video. The Carnegie Mellon video, which is going to be a video that supports what we're going to cover today for our patrons at 6:30. And I'm putting a video together of all this content that we're going to show everybody sort of before the video comes out.
Right.
I'm also working on a video. We may want to cover this next week in the show. I'm working on a video to show on the anniversary of the shooting. Alex Jones put together a video and used a ton of my content without crediting me or the channel. And then a number of days later, on a separate show, they had some substitute teacher mention Johnny Hoover. But at the end of the day, they used a lot of content, but they got the story wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like, well, if you're going to steal my stuff, guys, at least get the story straight. Right? So one of the things I'm working on now is taking their video from October 1st that has all my material that they stole.
Right.
I want to step through the video and explain
kind of
which
set the
aspect.
record straight, kind of thing.
Yeah, because their story is just totally off the wall. So again, if you're going to steal my stuff, at least get it right. So
yeah.
So looking at that, and then I'm working on a video also right now that takes a look at this thing with the drills. One of the things that Jesus Campos said is when he approached the room, he thought he heard drills.
Oh, drills like bzzz, like drill bits.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like
he said he thought
emergency exercises or something.
No, he thought he heard drilling. And that's what he said on
How credible
Ellen.
of a witness Jesus Campos is.
Don't worry, that doesn't matter. What matters is that it's corroborated by David Newton on 60 Minutes.
Oh, wow.
So David Newton, the K-9 officer from 60 Minutes, says there were drills. There were a lot of drills. So Jesus Campos says he thinks he hears drilling. David Newton mentions that he sees a lot of drills. In the FIT report, we see a drill with a drill bit that is a hole cutter. It's a 1-inch hole cutter bit.
Yeah.
Which means somebody, and it was used
But we don't
And
see
so the
where there's a
question is,
hole that's been drilled into anything, do we?
right, that's the key. The key is there's no mention of any holes, and there's no mention of, and that's the interview where he mentions the drills. And so the question is, well, what was being drilled and why was there no mention of that which was drilled, and why were there so many drills? And it appears the drilling was happening as Jesus Campos approached the room. He wasn't hallucinating auditorially. He said he heard drilling, and Newton says he sees 3 drills in the room. Drills, a lot of drills. And right, so what's going on? What's being drilled? Why is there drilling happening? And why is this not discussed in the FIT report?
Yeah. Well, you know, John, we're just about out of time for this YouTube preview here that we are putting out to let everybody know about John Cullen's Las Vegas investigation. This is the new sponsor exclusive show that's going to be starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're on every Friday on patreon.com/IamJohnCullen and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. People can also search for those channels on Subscribestar if they choose to not use Patreon. And of course, people can go back into the archives of the John Cullen investigation by going over to YouTube, as long as we remain on there. And people can subscribe to the John E. Hoover YouTube channel. John's got a ton of videos on there, and it's useful background for sure. But we're going to do a deep dive into this and more in just about 15 minutes when we get underway on Patreon and Subscribestar. Anything quickly, John, that you want to share before we go over there?
Well, all of the research that's on the YouTube channel, that's not monetized because I use a lot of copyrighted content.
Right.
So because of that, I don't monetize the channel at all. So the only support that I get is from the Patreon supporters and the Subscribestar supporters, and basically I just put all the money back into the research. And you know, the next threshold is being able to file a couple of Freedom of Information Act requests for certain, because now that the cases are closed, there's no reason not to release this information. Right? The FBI closed the case and the LVMPD. Right. But I think a FOIA request is $500. So that's sort of the next hurdle is, using. So
it seems like freedom of information is not free, huh?
Well, of course not. This is America.
Well, very good, John. All right. Well, we'll be back in just a bit. And I definitely want to thank the Patreon and Subscribestar sponsors. In addition to not being monetized on YouTube, I think December 10th, we may look back on someday as the moment that YouTube came out and told us flat out that if they don't like what you're doing, they're going to take your channel down. So if you like what John and I are doing, and if you enjoy watching Crowdsource the Truth, it's very important that you become a sponsor. We hope to see everybody over there at 6:30 on Patreon and Subscribestar. Thanks for watching, everybody.